Now, approximately how long were the police officers there?
I don't recall exactly, maybe, I'd say less than half an hour. I really don't know exactly, but they weren't there very long at all.
Okay. Now, after the police officers left, what did you do?
We cleaned up a bit because there was broken glass and we had dogs. So we tried to clean up the mess, and especially the glass. And Josh, Rocky, Liz, and I, we kind of just cleaned up and eventually sat on the couch, and they just tried to comfort me.
What, if any, knowledge did you have that there was going to be a second set of officers coming later that night?
I didn't know about that. That surprised me.
When did you learn that a second set of officers were coming to the penthouse that night?
I think I learned about it when they were there, when they arrived.
Okay. And we've seen the body-worn video on that. Is there anything that you recall outside of what was reflected on Officer Gateland's body-worn video?
I couldn't see much of what was on that video. I just, I remember being surprised that they were there, not really knowing why they were there. I assumed it was because I was encouraged to make a statement by the first set of officers.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
All right, just keep going forward. Okay.
And I was sitting on the couch. It was sometime hours, maybe between an hour, 2 hours, maybe more. I don't really recall, but we had cleaned up and we were resting, and they were comforting me when they came. And they didn't seem to, they didn't do what the first set of officers did. They just kind of came into the apartment, confirmed that that I was okay, or that we were okay. They didn't really seem to be that concerned, and they didn't demand to do a walkthrough like the first set of officers had, and they left.
Okay. And what, if any, cooperation did you give them?
Well, I didn't need to. I didn't really cooperate with them. I didn't talk to them. I didn't even get up off the couch. I was speaking to them from a quite a bit of a distance, like between you and I, and maybe more. And I didn't really say anything. I just kind of acknowledged that they entered, and that was it.
Did you provide them with Mr. Depp's name?
No way.
Did they ask?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take you to the next day, May 22. And I'm going to, Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 772? What, if any, efforts did Mr. Depp make to reach out to you the day after this happened?
Well, he made several efforts. Immediately, he kind of reached out and lashed out. Again, kind of going on what seems to be slightly delusional thinking that just because he saw my friend's beads out on the countertop that it had become a workshop or a studio for her. So he seemed angry about, this perception that this bead display that my friend had set up was evidence of her running some sort of workshop. And he also accused us of having invited someone else to live there who wasn't living there, who was just in the apartment when Johnny stormed in. So he just kind of lashed out, and then the tone changed in the days that followed.
And let me stop you there. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 772. And is this a text message from Mr. Depp to you?
Yes, it is.
And it's on 5/22 at 12:23 a.m. So it's early morning hours after 5:21. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant 772.
No objection.
All right, 772 in evidence with the identifiers redacted and published. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, and I know you started to talk about this, Amber, but it says I'm an idiot. PH5 is Rocky's studio. You are shameless. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, was that what you were talking about with him thinking that you're...
Yes.
Okay. And then, obviously, we can read that he says, I tried to make it work. You just turned more and more into a spoiled brat. All you wanted was to make me fucking miserable. Well, I'm finally there. I'll never be able to understand how I fell in love with you. You're not her. I loved you more than anything. I did everything that I could, but you never fucking loved me. I was merely convenient for you. I hope our divorce goes as quickly as possible and that it is as painless as possible. So sorry you were as unhappy with me as you were. Obviously, the purity of whatever was has been gone for a long time. I will miss the moments of beauty and truth. Goodbye, Amber. What the fuck was I thinking? I wish you all you merit. The former him. What, if any, discussions did you have with Mr. Depp about divorce that night?
We did not have a discussion about that that evening. We didn't have time. He was obsessed with dog poop.
Okay.
That's what he wanted to talk about.
All right, let's take this down and let's go to Defendant's Exhibit 773. Now, this is a text exchange between you and Mr. Depp. It starts with Mr. Depp on 5/21 at 6:58 p.m. just saying here. Does that refresh your recollection of when he arrived at your penthouse on May 21?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next series are on 5/22. They start at 5:13. And you're discussing talking. You said, sorry, I'm just leaving Amanda's birthday now. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
All right. And then he responds to that, correct?
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, I'd like to move the admission of Defendant 773.
Your Honor, if we could just have a minute to review this exhibit.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it just this page?
No, there's
3 pages.
3 pages.
I'm just reading Michelle's hands.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, 773 in evidence with identifiers redacted. Thank you.
Thank you. And if we could, okay, we've got it published to the jury. So let's go to the top, Michelle. And so it starts out with him, this is the 5/21, 6:58 p.m. saying he's there, correct?
Yeah, but I think he came in later than that. Took him some time.
Okay. And then if we move up, the next one is you at 5:22 at 5:13 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And then you say, thank you, and then can we still speak in a min? What do you recall of why you sent those texts?
I believe we had spoken on the phone. Or I can't control this, correct? The screen. I don't know.
We can give you control, yes. Maybe we should do that and clear out my purples.
I just don't know what was sent right before this.
Go ahead. Your Honor, can
Well,
we
she can't scroll. She's asking to scroll.
Okay, Michelle, let's have you scroll if you can. Just go ahead and scroll through just slowly so she can read the whole thing.
Okay, makes sense.
All right, does that help refresh your recollection?
Yes, I believe that I believe he had apologized to me after the phone incident. I had commitments that I had to attend the following day on the 22nd. So the beach show I referenced, I mentioned to you, I had to go to. I also had to bring a cake to a friend's birthday party. So I had things I unfortunately had to do that day. And I remember there was communication with Johnny, both by phone and by text, where he was telling me that he was clean, that he was sober, he was clear mind, it wasn't the monster, and that he was so sorry. But I had already committed to filing for divorce. And eventually I have to let him know that it's not just saying it in the anger, in the fights that like we had done, you know, both he and I did that at times in some of our fights, especially towards the end of our relationship. And so I let him know that I was serious about filing this time, and that I had had enough after the phone.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I had enough.
Okay.
Overruled, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to draw your attention to the bottom of the page, Defendant's Exhibit 773, and this is at 5:22, so this is 6:19 p.m. Do you see that? 5:22? And he says, just let me know when you have a minute, and I'll give you a call. Nothing I have to say. You should elicit anything but a sense of ease. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then he says, all my love and profound apologies. What was he apologizing for?
Objection,
Do you
calls
know?
for speculation.
What was your understanding of what he was apologizing for?
Speculation, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. In his phone call with you, did he tell you what he was apologizing for?
Yes.
What did he say?
He was sorry that he reacted the way he did. He said he didn't mean to hurt me. He didn't mean to hurt me. If he really hurt me that bad, he's sorry that he didn't mean to.
Okay. Michelle, if we can go to the next page. Up to the green, please. And he says here, I'm sad, I'm scared, and I'm broken, my sweet Slim. And then he says, I want you happy. I have zero harsh feelings. I am clear and I am me. What did you understand him to mean by I am clear and I am me?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Do you
I
have
know
an
what he
underst-
meant.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Did he
there's
use
a lot.
that phrase with you?
I'll hold on. I'll sustain that objection.
I'm
Your
trying to get to the
I
next
know.
one here.
Then you can ask your next question. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Did he use those phrases with you during your marriage?
Yes, he did.
What did Mr. Depp mean when he says I am clear and I am me?
Objection, calls for speculation.
I think I established the foundation.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you.
That he had sobered up. That he had sobered up and he was not the monster again, that he was him. That he was a good guy I loved. The one that I trusted.
All right. Now I'm going to ask Michelle if you can take that one down and bring in 771, which has already been admitted. Now those text exchanges were in the 6 o'clock to almost 7 o'clock range. And here it's 5:22, it's now 8 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
And he's telling you, sorry if a bit, please know that my hurt towards you is over. My apologies are eternal and belong to you. Solid. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And was it your understanding he was apologizing again?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Was there anything else he would have been apologizing for that he had done?
Objection, calls for
I'll
speculation.
sustain the objection.
That's it. Okay. So Tell the jury how you felt in that week, May 22 through May 27, and what you decided to do.
At the time, it felt like the hardest thing I've ever had to do.